There is absolutely no chance that the Fire Festival ends in success. Irreversible sort of failure. An absolute defeat. This entire elaborate mission to defeat Kaido fails. This raid on Onigashima will end in failure, which I know I've been harping over and over. Things can go south really, really fast. They fail. They're not going to succeed. Failure is necessary. I want to see them go down. Things go from bad to worse. And then hopefully around then a sort of crushing defeat or something like that. At least that's what I'm hoping for. They're just asking to die at this point. They're just begging for it. They're like, please kill us. We're done. We are here to die. You can start planting the graves right now. We're out of here. They're all gonna die is the thing. It's kind of crazy how badly these guys want to die. I fully expect several of them to die. Kaido's going to get serious and then wipe the floor with them. Everything is just downhill like a really drastic, steep drop. Bad things one after another. Terrible downward spiral. Next chapter is pretty much, I think, game over for them. It would just be too dark for them to not succeed here. But I still feel we've lost track of Zoro. I will give myself a little bit of credit here. You can write him in, you know, to the obituaries. Just one failure into the next failure into the next failure. In my heart of hearts, I will always believe that everything here is heading for failure. I'm obviously going to stick with the idea that the raid is going to end in failure because I'm not just going to backtrack on my prediction at this point. I've already stuck with that. Look, you don't just have to be a meme just because everyone's favorite topic is the raid going to fail. I'm sticking with the raid failing. We're gonna ride or die on this. The raid will end in failure. It's too late now. I can't back out now. In my mind, I'm just holding on to my initial argument. The raid will fail. That's still very valid. Of course, I'm just sticking to my guns at this point. Sink with the ship if we're wrong, but we still hold out faith that we're gonna be right. Obviously, I will do a celebration stream if the raid does fail. You know, everything's in shambles, the straws are completely defeated. It's probably not that far off. You guys also may know my beliefs about what could happen, which still stand. For any OG fans, you might remember that, but it is looking pretty bad for me, but I still believe the idea that the raid on Onigashima is going to fail has become a meme. I continue to stand by it. This raid couldn't possibly be the final battle. The raid could fail. Most people no longer think that's even a possibility, but does that mean we're giving up? No. If the ship is going down, it's better to honorably go down with it. Absolutely guarantee that the raid on Onigashima is going to fail. No, the raid might still fail. Hopefully, the raid still fails. Still gonna fail. I fully support raid will fail propaganda. Will the raid fail? Oh boy, my favorite question. I believe the raid will fail. I have made that very clear. The raid's gonna fail. I'm gonna keep telling you that. Be prepared to delete a lot of incriminating interwebs comments about the raid failing. You guys will probably never hear the end of it if the raid does fail. That's like the 10th time I've said the raid fails in like the last 2 minutes. That's like a lot even for me. If the raid does fail, then I might just feel too vindicated that I might just talk about it till the end of time and never stop mentioning it. There's this thing that happens during most Morj streams where the stream ends in failure and then it has to start up again. I would like to say that I'm just trying to recreate what I believe will be the plot of Wano, but mostly it's just bad internet connection. If the raid fails, you will need to invent a new level of Conqueror's hockey. One that has not been seen before, because I will be so, you've never seen me before until you see the raid fail. Is the raid failing? Is the raid failing? And I mean absolute defeat for the Alliance, but absolute victory for us. It is clear that this whole shabazz, this whole raid, this whole assault on Onigashima, it's going down in flames, okay? The whole thing, the whole building's crumbling down, it's all crashed, it's all burned. Alright, so we got that out of the way, right? We conclusively know that the raid fails. You know, there's gonna be confetti and streamers and stuff. Like, this is gonna be a domino effect, everybody's gonna start losing. The dominoes are just gonna go from start to finish. They just casually get wiped off the board. I think that's hilarious. I would really love it. It's just, you know, it's a good director move, right? Just let it end in failure. That would be perfect. If only the Wano arc could fail at the rate that my streams fail. Why is failure? That is a great question. Excellent sentence fragment right there. Why is failure? It's very deep, isn't it? Everything is gonna fail. The raid has to fail. Maybe don't watch the streams if you don't want to lose respect for me. If the raid fails, Morj will be insufferable. Yeah. You guys should hope the raid doesn't fail. If the raid fails, you're gonna be dealing with the worst person in the world. If the raid fails, I'm gonna hate me once the raid fails. If the raid fails, I'm gonna be the most hated person in the One Piece community, by far. If the raid doesn't fail, I'll be the most mocked person in the One Piece community. That's so messed up. No matter what, I'm kind of screwed, right? Either way, I lose. So I've pretty much set myself, like, forget the raid, I've set myself up for failure. If the raid fails, then all bets are off. If the raid fails, maybe I'll rent out a huge boat or something like that, and there'll just be a giant Morj celebration party. This is just the effect of pure brainwashing, which I think is hilarious. People tell me that I talk about the raid failing too much. Oda literally calls people like me out. Oda just told me
me, I'm racist.
I think you were a bit excessive when you took your shirt off and screamed, "The raid will fail," for 30 minutes over everyone. Okay, another round of applause for me. Wanted to reaffirm for you guys that I still believe the raid would fail. If we're wrong, we commit seppuku. If we're right, we celebrate. There's a million reasons that the raid's gonna fail. I think about the raid failing all the time. Something that stresses me out in my day-to-day life. The raid will end in failure is actually an excellent theory. Still mind blown and my jaw drops. I'm like really, really brilliant, like just mesmerizing, especially when you're on certain substances. I obviously believe the raid will fail. Okay, if the raid fails, I'll probably get a One Piece tattoo. You know, if Pedro didn't sacrifice himself, the raid would have failed, which hit me right in the heart. I was like, what? Am I being punked? What's going on right here? They literally talk about the raid failing, a sign of my own failure. And so I've been saying for a long while now that I believe the raid will end in failure. I still, even at this point, still believe this will be the case. It's so deeply ingrained in my brain. I like to believe, as you all know, that the raid will fail. Raid will fail in 4 chapters. I really, really hope so. Guys, I hope so much. I really, really hope so. You don't understand. Wonder what life's gonna be like if the raid doesn't fail. I'm pretty sure the raid will fail. Alright, I'm like 80% sure the raid will fail. Like 90% sure at all times that the raid will fail. There's a 100% chance that they fail this raid. I do want to drop some raid fail merch. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed, then definitely like, comment, and subscribe. The raid will fail.